Hello and welcome back to the Join Dota League Season 3 here on HeflaTV 2. Now we're going to have a little bit of change of pace as we go to Division 1 with CNB Esports versus the Houses Down. This is going to be a best of two series between these two teams, and although it was rescheduled for an hour earlier, we are going to be a little bit late, but enough of that as, well, for your casters, we are going to have Grandis V, and once again I'm going to be joined by Mike Loris.
It wouldn't be a proper game of Dota if one, the game didn't start a little bit late, and two, we didn't have a pause right after the picking phase. And I'm pretty sure we're gonna have both here.
Yeah. I don't know, we just came from casting Bricky versus Found New Friends, and I don't know, that ending was quite exciting. I don't know, not sure if we're going to be able to upload the full VODs, as it would be like a 2 hour long video, and I doubt anybody would want to sit through that unbearable break in the middle, but maybe a highlights video is in your future, and if we do make one, Disruptor Rapier, all I'm saying.
Yeah, you just sat in the back, no attack speed, no problem, because all you need to do is be ignored by the enemy with a rapier, and then you're going to win. That's a pretty good recipe for victory. But I just like to say the house is down. I have seen them play before. I actually have seen both of these teams play before. I like the houses down because they pick weird things.
Yeah, was this the team that picked the Huskar?
Uh, I don't
Or was
believe it
this...
was.
No, I don't think it was. No, it wasn't.
They have a pretty consistent Meepo player, I believe.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, that's right.
I believe Boogaroo plays it.
I remember Boogaroo playing a really good Vengeful Spirit. I think he's a
Okay,
support player.
well, one of them. Maybe it was Jubilee. They're both the names sound are so similar. It's hard to keep them all straight. But yeah, they have a Meepo player, and Meepo is in the pool. So hopefully we're gonna see that one. That would really be certainly a nice change of pace from last game, which was just Farm Fest resident sleeper status.
Yep. I don't know. I don't think we'll be seeing it as a first pick, as first pick Meepo is generally a recipe for disaster unless your name is Excalibur. But yeah, we'll have to see where they're going to go. Faceless Void Invoker, Lycanthrope as well as Doom taking on the first stage. Invoker somehow has slipped his way into the first ban territory. Usually don't see that focused up, but against certain teams, definitely a worthwhile ban. Brewmaster left in the pool, and CNB Esports pretty much have the pick of whatever they want to that's still left on our imaginary list of top tier meta picks.
Yeah, and since these two teams are both, or at least according to Join Dota, both from the Brazilian region, I can only assume that they have played together, not just in matches like this, but just have like scrimmed together. So they probably know each other pretty well. So I'm sure that that's going to influence the picking a little bit. Not for the first round because Razor Skywrath Mage is not too unpredictable, but when it gets to the bans and when it gets to those that second and third pick phase, I'm sure there's going to be a little bit of metagaming in between these two teams.
Yeah, for sure. We'll have to see. I'm definitely hoping for something out of the ordinary, but yeah, as you said, with these first three picks, haven't really seen it. Razor is decent. Scarlet Mage also up against the Brewmaster, especially with that silence. The instant silence on Brewmaster is going to force him, if he wants to get his ultimate off, to instantly ult after blinking instead of getting the blink clap split, which is what he really wants to be doing to get full effectiveness out of his kit of spells. Earthshaker is a pickup from the houses down, another great blink initiator, but then again, also not too exciting as far as the picks are concerned. The instant ban Ember Spirit, however, is a little interesting.
I think I'm going to chalk up all these kind of weird-ish bans like the Invoker and Ember Spirit to these teams knowing each other and knowing what they like to play. So that's definitely where the Ember ban is coming from. At least that's what I'm going to say. It would have been a pretty nice one for CNB to have. It's a very slippery hero. Possibly, I want to believe that the House is Down is preparing for a Meepo pick because Earthshaker is a pain in the ass to deal with when you're Meepo. Ember Spirit's not the most fun to deal with either. So maybe that's what they're angling towards. I wanna think it is.
Yeah, especially, I don't know, Battle Fury Ember Spirit as a Meepo is quite possibly one of the worst things to play up against, because if you blink all of your Meepos in, and then get caught out with a Sleight of Fist, if he has a Battle Fury Daedalus, you're dead. There's very little you can do. Meepo banned by CNB. I hate you, and I love you. I don't know. I wanted to see the Meepo picked, but I don't know, both of these teams definitely know each other and know what they want to be setting up for.
Why CNB? Why? I wanted to see the Meepo, but I'm hoping that House is Down is going to bring something interesting regardless. Like I was looking through their last couple of recorded games in Join Dota, and they have had a couple of weird picks, Meepo being the most common of them. But he's not going to be in this game, and well, House is Down going to continue to ban out those pretty annoying AoE heroes in the Tidehunter. Maybe they want to secure the team fight control dominance with the Brewmaster Earthshaker setup that they have right now.
10 seconds to go.
Yeah, we'll just have to see. Viper banned out by CNB Esports. It's a hero that's very highly prized in the South American scene. I can definitely seeing it fitting into the Houses Down's lineup. They'll have great teamfight initiation. Having that mech carrier would be wonderful for them. CNB Esports, go for the Nature's Prophet. I don't know. I think Nature's Prophet is okay. He has decent setup for the Sky with Mage ulti, good split push, but all around doesn't really lean very heavily in any direction. Can be a component of pushing Lion, but with what CNB Esports already have, I doubt that's what they're going to be doing.
Shadow Shaman is still in the pool,
10
and either
seconds to
side
go.
can pick him up for a little bit extra push, but I think this is probably going to be a little
5
bit more of a
seconds.
fighting Nature's Prophet. You probably would want him to pick up an Orchid in this game to deal with that Brewmaster split, and of course shut down any
Reserve
further
time.
spells from the Earthshaker or whoever else they pick up from their secondary support. So I would like to see that coming out from the CNB esports side. They could start fights with Skyrath Mage and whatever other hero, support hero they're going to
Dyer's
pick up,
pick.
and then have the Nature's Prophet teleport in there to reinforce. But the house is down. They're going to go for a Wisp.
Yeah, IO a hero that we haven't been seeing very much of as of late. I don't know. I'm kind of hoping for a different partner than your tiny, or your CK. I'm crossing my fingers for a Sven pick here from the Houses Down, but I don't think we'll be seeing it. But still something to look forward to. CNB Esports pick up the Witch Doctor. It's decent against Wisp as a concussive shot. If two heroes TP in, your cast can do a whole lot.
Interesting opting for the Witch Doctor instead of the Disruptor. Usually that's the slam response
Mm-hmm.
in order to counter the relocate. Like if the Wisp comes in with whoever, you just, glimpse them right back and then dismantle them because it's usually just, it's pretty simple since you should have a numbers advantage. But Witch Doctor, a powerful hero in that he will also
10
benefit
seconds to
from the
go.
fact that Wisp is going to be bringing a buddy so that paralyzing cast can get those bounces.
5
I
seconds.
wouldn't mind seeing a Sven here. It won't be the absolute worst, but you really don't want to be a Sven versus a Razor. That's not too fun.
Reserve time.
Uh, Tiny, I hate to say it because it's so common, but he probably will be the best pick as of right now. I'm personally holding out for a Wisp Ricky. I want to see that.
Yeah, for sure. Most of your Wisp partners don't fare very well against Razors. Most of them are melee carries that really don't want to have to deal with Razor. But with the extra movement speed, you can break the link decently well. We'll have to see. Yeah, Witch Doctor is interesting as far as comboing up with the Scarlet Mage as well. Scarlet Mage Disruptor really not the best roaming duo, especially if you don't have a damage in that lane. You really need the third hero that you're ganking for to contribute something. But Witch Doctor Scarlet Mage definitely can set things up if they time their ganks right, especially once they get their level 6. A lot of damage coming out from those two.
The house is down, taking their time, and I can only assume that this is going to be time spent thinking about what they want to partner their Wisp with. I actually have seen Wisp Brewmaster used to decent effect, not as much for the overcharge, which is kind of a waste, but just to bring the Brewmaster right into the middle of the fight for a clap split. It is rather effective, though at the same time, you are not getting value out of your overcharge.
Yeah, I would like to see them pick up something else to combo with that Wisp, but
Dyer's
instead they
pick.
go for something completely different in the Darks here. Yeah, I wouldn't have expected them to waste that much, or use that much reserve time, rather, to think about their Wisp partner, because usually when you pick up your Wisp, you have something in mind. We might be seeing that IO Brewmaster on the pitch this game, and
10 seconds
I
to
don't know, it'll
go.
be very interesting to see. Currently, the Darkseer Earthshaker combination is always wonderful if you get Blink Daggers on both of them. Blink Vacuum into Echo Slam. The dream is there for the huge 5-man
Reserve
wipe
time.
with that sense. But yeah, I don't know, it's very interesting to see the Houses Down delay their IO partner if it's not going to be their Brewmaster.
I'm gonna change my prediction. Just throwing it out there. I want to see a Kunkka. That should be interesting. Lots of Wombo. It'll be fun.
I don't know, IO Kunkka could also be a thing. Like, if you're able to jump on somebody globally as well as split push out the lanes, that could be. There could be something to that. Yeah, I would definitely be on board for a Kunkka pick.
But we'll see what CMB esports think that the House is Down is going to go for because that is most definitely going to be their ban. They could just play it safe and ban out something like a Tiny and eliminate the possibility for THD to go for a dual lane mid with a really powerful Wisp Tiny combination, or they could dip into the metagame tank and because I'm assuming they know each other pretty well, they'll be able to pick something a little bit different. And it's going to be a
Radiant's
gyrocopter.
banned.
Not the best Wisp partner, but it's certainly very capable. Being able to jump into the middle of the fight, pop a BKB, and then go to town with overcharge is quite nice for the gyrocopter.
Yeah, one of the biggest things that
Dyer's pick.
Gyrocopter can abuse when you have a Wisp on your team as well is the jungle stacks that Wisp can be able to do, especially on the Radiant mid side. You can stack both those camps very efficiently. And yeah, I don't know, could have been something that CNB Esports are concerned about, just getting a really farm Gyrocopter that jumps in the middle of everybody and then shoots those 6 flat cannon charges off very fast. Also, IO decent at keeping the Jar alive, so I guess that ban makes sense, and it would have given them a little bit more wombo to their combo with the Gyrocopter call down.
So CNB, they have about 30 seconds left before they have to make their final pickup. We've been dwelling a lot on THD, not as much onto the CNB side, but they have their double supports up. They have 2 solo heroes. They need someone to, I believe, handle the mid lane. I mean, they could have that, the Razor do that role, or they could pick up someone else and just have Razor go with the Witch Doctor and Skywrath. Either way, they're going to need a little bit of lane control. Nature's Prophet almost assuredly going to go towards the lane by himself, and it's going to be a Tinker with solid pickup. They're not going to have it for much counter push or anything like that, but still, if your Tinker gets to a good start, you could have them kill things a whole lot.
All 3 of the global TP heroes are on the field here, with the IO relocate as well as the Nature's Prophet TP and Boots of Travel presumably picked up by the Tinker. I don't know, there's a lot of ways that fights can break out from seemingly nothing. When you see 2 heroes in lane, usually it's just 2 heroes in lane. But up against CNB as well as the House is down, you can bring another 2 on top of that very quick. And it is going to be Wisp Morphling as their combination in mid. This combo uses their regen with usually the double bottle very well. And being able to control the lane is always nice for that combination. It's definitely something different. Honestly, I'm not a huge fan of the Morphling pick here, but the Skywrath Mage and Witch Doctor could end up being very easy food for him, as well as the Nature's Prophet as he's TPing around the map. Although if he does go for Ethereal Blade, which I presume is what the Morphling is going to go to, that's pretty much just a sign over your head saying Tinker Dagon me.
That's true, and Morphling, he's gonna have a relatively easy time surviving in this game. He doesn't have to go up against that many stuns, but still he's gonna have a lot of things to slow him down in those fights. Like, even though he won't be stunned, he will be silenced by the Skywrath Mage at the very least, maybe stunned by the Witch Doctor cast, but Laser as well as Static Link are things that Morphling really doesn't want to deal with. So it's not the best Wisp combination, and I don't know if they're going to be laning this in a dual lane fashion or whatever, but we'll see as these lanes shape up as we're now in the game, and well, there's no pause, so hallelujah. We're going to have the Darkseer on THD side, going to be played by Jubilu, heading up towards top. It looks like it will be a dual lane Wisp Morphling, going to be played by Vestius and Liposa respectively, and on the bottom lane it has a dual melee lane. And I don't like this, but Bugru is going to be on the Earthshaker, Yuka on the Brewmaster, and there's the pause that I wanted.
Absolutely. That'll give me time to introduce CNB playing on the Dire side, with 40R taking up the Tinker, Ned on the Witch Doctor, Wesley playing on the Razor, Baga playing on the Skywrath Mage, which will leave last but not least, Tavo playing on the Nature's Prophet. I think he's a stand-in, but that's a familiar name, at least in this scene.
Yeah, definitely seen that name around. At the very least, it's easy to remember, so that might just be it. But yeah, he's going to be looking to solo up a lane most likely, and THD with the Earthshaker Brewmaster on the bottom lane, they're both incredibly powerful heroes, but they are going to be going up against a pure ranged lineup from CNB. So Earthshaker will not be able to pressure anyone. If they get a good Fissure block, maybe they could get a kill, but until then, they're going to be chipped out, and there's nothing that they could do about it.
Yeah, I know, it's very interesting to see THC's lineup. They're lacking a lot of range. Morphling, although technically a ranged hero, really needs to be up in the middle of things to get his right-click damage off, and I don't know. It's going to make laning a bit difficult. Top lane should do fine, the Darkseer. A competent solo laner that presumably up against the Nature's Prophet should do just fine, although if they do try lane up against him, he could be forced into the jungle, but at the very least, Jubilee will be able to get some levels as well as back up into that jungle if things do go south. Yeah, this Earthshaker pick is just kind of feeling very weird with the Brewmaster taking up the safe lane farming position. I really would have liked to see them pick something other than the Morphling and then put the Brewmaster mid.
They're kind of asking for it by going for an Earthshaker with a Wisp support. Like,
Uh-huh.
neither of these two heroes are great at poking the lane. They kind of want to be with someone like a Skywrath Mage or a Shadow Shaman in order for them to set things up, and then they'll potentially capitalize. But by themselves, they don't do that great. So it's a little bit awkward support picks coming from THD. So their bottom lane is most likely not going to get much done. Top lane should be fine, mid lane should be fine. So that's going to be where they want to kind of redeem the fact that their bottom lane is going to be pretty crappy.
Yeah. I don't know, Wisp as a support pick is really greedy until he gets level 6 because more often not, I mean, the Wisp is going to be able to put a little bit of right-click pressure as well as the bottle regen, which is great in the mid lane, but for the most part in this early game, he's just going to be focused on stacking this large camp here and this large camp over here. Still can't draw actually on the ground since it is paused, but you should get the idea.
Yeah, I mean, just stacking up for usually the tiny is the best way because Avalanche Toss uh, is going to clear out that wave very quickly, and then Tiny Wisp is generally regarded as the best Tiny Wisp or the best Wisp combination. But Morphling with the waveform, he has the range to keep himself safe, so he'll be able to make good use of those stacks. And hell, even Darkseer, if he does get completely shut down, if CNB do mix it up and throw a tri-lane up top, he could go clear off some stacks as well with the Ion Shell. Stacking from this Wisp is going to be incredibly useful for THD, especially since they are all melee, so they will probably not get as much from the lanes. They need to get more from the jungle in order to compensate.
Yeah. I mean, I'd expect Urshick could also be stacking up some camps, because in lane he's really not going to be able to do much. He'll offer a defensive fissure, but that's about it.
All right, so looks like the Tinker is probably going to be going towards the mid lane with the Razor tri-lane. I mean, it's nothing too surprising coming out from CNB. Tinker versus the Morphling Wisp is something that I actually haven't seen probably ever since Morphling Wisp is a very uncommon sight. But Tinker, he's going to have to worry about waveforming in from the Morphling, and if Wisp does get that tether slow off, though it doesn't last for very long, it still gives the Morphling a lot of time to right-click. So Laser should keep the Tinker alive, but he's still under some sort of threat in that mid lane.
Yeah. I don't know, if CMB do go aggressive, however, or even if they don't leave the Nature's Prophet down here, they have some ways that they can stack the Ancients, either by using the Treants, or by having a support do that. So if THD don't block that away from them with their only Observer Ward down here, I don't know, they'll have that extra farm for the Tinker to catch up later on, even though in lane he is going to be pressured a decent bit, although he shouldn't die.
Yeah, now I'm kind of regretting asking for that pause. It was sarcastic, but I don't know if CMB got that. So looks like we're going to be just chilling here as the Skywrath Mage is unfortunately having some PC problems, which at the very least it's not server problems. Like we don't have to jump through all those hoops again.
Yeah, I mean, at this point it would be a lot less painful as it would just be an all-pick remake, since nothing's actually happened.
All right, well, the lanes have been kind of discussed. I mean, we kind of glanced over the top lane, but Darkseer versus Nature's Prophet is a pretty decent lane for both sides. Jubilee, once he recognizes that fact, if it is in fact a Nature's Prophet top, which it looks like it will be, he could very easily creep cut, and then Nature's Prophet will just use his Nature's Call to keep himself safe behind the tier 1 tower from the creep aggro, and possibly the Darkseer can get some kills if he plays his cards right. He does have 4 tangos in a vacuum, which could potentially destroy a Sprout, so Nature's Prophet has got to watch himself once Darkseer gets to level 5.
Well, the drawing in the map commences from CNBs. We have possibly the most detailed smiley face I've seen on a Dota 2 minimap. And then triangles. I don't know, we're kind of out of things to talk about as of now because the game hasn't started yet and there's very little to talk about outside of the laning phase, which we've kind of already covered.
Yeah, we beat that one to death. I still want to see the vacuum Echo Slam with waveform
Yes.
over the top. That's something that I hope is included within this game. I want to see global ganks like Nature's Prophet jumping in, summoning some Treants, and then having Tinker come in on one of those Treants. That would be pretty baller. But
Yeah, I want the treant that like roams in the enemy jungle, and then somebody tries to kill it, like one of the supports, and then Tinker TPs and then daggons them to death.
especially someone like a Wisp who might be able to
Oh,
get
yeah.
away with the tether, but cannot kill a creep fast enough. Earthshaker might be able to fissure and chant totem it down, which is going to be a little bit anticlimactic, but I want to see the Wisp get hit by that. That'll make me amused.
I want him to see him get Dagon mid-tether away towards the creep wave. Like, he almost makes it out, but the Dagon range is too much. Okay.
Or he tanks the Dagon, and then the missile is just chasing
Yeah.
him as he tethers out.
Ooh, we'll have to see. As we do get back into this game, finally, so... Just
Why are we
about as
hating on
we...
this Wisp so much? Why do
What?
we just want to see Wisp die? It's
I
so
don't know.
cool.
He seems to be the only one that's going to get caught out alone. But even him, he should be buddied up with the Morphling for quite a lot of the game. Yeah, 5-man rotation coming out from CNB to start things off to exert some control over the enemy jungle. And oh no, we have another pause, but presumably going to also control up their own ancients to make sure that those don't get blocked out. There were some pings coming out over on this ward. Not sure if that was spotted out or if they're just knowing it's going on. No, that's the Darkseer pinging and not the Nature's Prophet, as Nature's Prophet SDC'd. So yeah, this rotation shouldn't net them a kill, but at the very least it will secure them some wards deep in the enemy jungle.
They do have a pretty long range initiation. Witch Doctor potentially concussive shot if they really feel like they could get someone, but oh my god, we're never going to play this game ever. I mean, the only thing that's happened since the last pause is that Vestius and Laposa have cleared out the trees in between the medium and hard camp. So Wisp is going to try to go for a couple double pulls. You could get it to stack around 2 to 3 times. Then it gets a little bit more difficult to double stack them. But yeah, it's a possibility for THD, and they're definitely going to make good on these trees being cleared.
Yep, well, for now I can go ahead and look at the chat, although it's not very lively as of now. Yeah, the spam is dead. Oh,
Well,
that's
I mean,
unfortunate.
KPM too low.
We need to increase that.
I
Oh,
wonder
there we
if
go.
I wonder if people are just like watching, but from some other place, so they don't have the chat open. So they actually can't contribute to the KPM.
I don't
Like it's
know.
embedded somewhere.
Well, I don't know. This is like just been an awful week as far as disconnects and server issues and computer issues and team issues has been concerned. I think we've only had one series that's gone out without a hitch.
Yeah, that sounds about right. There was like one yesterday, I believe, that
And
was just a
then,
nice, clean game, and then it was disastrous again.
yeah, it was TCN. They got through their first series, but then Arise's internet died in the second one, so... Okay, well, this is a new level of drawing on the minimap that I've seen. We have Teal outlining the trees, trying to be as close to the tree line as possible.
That's his ganking path when he picks up a shotgun. That's exactly the path that he's going to run.
He's going to, like, juke through all these little trees.
Hmm
Yep.
Play games with the fog of war just to confuse the enemies. It's very tactical.
Of course, as everybody reconnects, and hopefully we'll be able to get back into this game. I don't know. Let's see. Um... Yeah, so sorry comes out from Ned and go. Go, go, go. All in there. Something that might come out this game that I would be interested in seeing how it works, although I have very low hopes and I don't think it would pan out for them, would be an Orchid on the Tinker. Something we like never see, but up against a Morphling, it could be something, as well as the Brewmaster. I think having the double silence could be really solid.
Yeah, it would be a useful item just in a vacuum, having that Orchid on
Yeah.
CMB. I mentioned before, Nature's Prophet should probably aim towards that. I think that'll be the smarter decision because when you're a Tinker, you have so much gold. And really, there's no reason to ever get an Orchid as, oh my god, but there's no reason to ever get an Orchid when you could just as easily get a Scythe. And
Yeah,
holy
pretty
crap,
much.
guys. Holy crap.
I mean, that's pretty much the problem that Orchid Tinker has, is it's great in theory, but then you compare it to like a Scythe of Ice or a Dagon Ethereal Blade, and it can just end up being a better item in the end. I think the only reason why I would think it would be okay this game, or maybe even a thing that happens, is that Morphling, he's not able to morph while he's silenced up. But GLHF comes up from the casters, and we're just waiting and waiting until this game actually happens. Scarth Mage and Witch Doctor said hi to the Wisp, but that's going to be about it.
You know, eventually these pauses are going to stack up in such a way that they could see where all these wards are because the delay isn't long enough.
I think we've
Tactical
already hit
cheating.
that point. I mean, they're not
Uh,
supposed to be on the stream
yeah.
during the game. Like, they can jump on afterwards, but during the game they're not supposed to be in the stream at all.
Supposed to, though, you know, it's like,
Yeah, it's so hard to control.
well, is it cosmetic time? Is it that time already?
I think it is that time already. Earthshaker has quite possibly the saddest Earthshaker cosmetics I've ever seen. Well, actually, no, they're not. They're heroic, actually. So this is a double kill that Wesley of Kingo +4 scored against Awaken Esports. I have no idea who that is, but maybe just shout out to Wesley on the side of CNB.
Yeah, good job, Wesley. And yeah, you got yourself
A
a double
double kill.
kill. Wah, wah.
Yeah, probably the
So
most
sad.
anticlimactic heroic item. Morphling actually has none. I like Morphling without items better, so props to you, Ilaposa. I think the only one that I'd ever consider putting on my Morphling would be Ethereal Blade. Um,
Really, you don't like the seashells?
oh, yeah. I don't think there's a cosmetic that you can make for Morphling without changing the base model that would look good. The Scotty one that's in the workshop's okay, but, I mean, as we're talking about that, they unpaused, so I guess we just need to talk about cosmetics earlier.
Damn, we missed our cosmetic window, but I'm sure we will have another chance eventually. Ned did drop a sentry ward within the spawn box of, well, both camps now, so suddenly Wisp is going to be a lot more sad, but he has sentries. The nice stinky little Pudge courier does run out. Let's see how good he is at dewarding this. He's going to...
This one's fairly easy to deward. And,
There's
yep,
one.
there you go. And as far as the other one, that one's a lot harder. You have to get the vision inside the trees. You might have to tango through that one, but since he's broken the other trees in the vicinity, he might be able to get this one. Let's see how successful he is. And, well, it is in range. Will he get the vision of it? Not yet.
Come on, Wisp, I believe in you.
He needs to go around this way. And no, he needed to break one of those trees.
Yeah, you gotta kill those trees. Wisp is unfortunately only able now to get single pulls, and unfortunately he's going to miss the this first one as the minute does tick in. But it looks like for now, Skywrath going to be babysitting this Tinker just a little bit in this mid lane and apply a little bit of extra damage to this Morphling. They definitely expected the Wisp to be here, but unfortunately Wisp isn't around just yet. Tinker really needs his levels though, so Skywrath can't hang around for too long, otherwise Tinker levels just aren't going to come up in a timely fashion.
Yeah. I don't know, for now, 6 and 4 on the Tinker already secured, so last hitting very well, whereas the Morphling only has 2. So without his Wisp there, he's really been suffering, but Tri-Lane mid comes out as Earthshaker joins the fray. So, Boogaroo, is he able to get good block? He is on a 40R, and 40R might be giving up the first blood here. He's slowed down by the tether, so for a split second, Arcane Bolt, there's a wave for him forward. They aren't able to slow him another time, but they only need one more right-click, and Laposa draws first blood off of a beautiful Earthshaker block that really shouldn't have happened. The Tinker just positioned himself way too aggressively there.
I don't even know how they missed the fact that Earthshaker wasn't in the bottom lane because they have a very clear observer ward on the bottom, so they should have seen something, but I guess they just missed it. So Earthshaker, making for the very short-lived tri-lane mid, is going to rotate back to the bottom lane where Yuka is just trying to hide out and keep himself safe, but now he's going to pick a fight with Ned. Big crits coming out from that guaranteed Drunken Brawler proc, and Boogaroo and Bestius both, oh, they finally found the sentry. Good work, guys. Good work.
They got it. Boogaroo giving the vision on the high ground.
No.
No! Get closer. Yeah, a little more, a little more. There we go. Yeah, that last uphill miss. Yeah, as far as the other lanes, we kind of touched on bottom a little bit. Brewmaster not able to get very much out of this lane. I think he's fine that the Earthshaker isn't there. He's pretty much just going to be playing off-lane Brew this game. Darkseer up in top versus the Nature's Prophet. Although he hasn't been creep cutting, still CSing very well. And mid and bottom should be where the action is, if it happens at all. For now, the Radiant playing fairly passively, although the Witch Doctor and Skywrath Mage are looking to make something happen.
You know, the hilarious thing about Vestius trying that hard for that long in order to deward that camp is that the sentry only had like 30 seconds left, so it only would have blocked one more spawn. But they wasted so much time on this Wisp trying to get rid of it that the sentry ward did so much more than just block the camp.
Yeah, so in the end, CNB, I don't know, creating some space with their sentry wards of some sort. Earthshaker might be caught out here. I think Witch Doctor and Skywrath might have caught a vision of him. But for now, he's okay, and Booker's actually in a very awkward position here.
And they have an observer ward spotting out
Yeah,
everything, so
okay,
Booker
yeah,
shouldn't
he'd be
dying.
just fine.
Yeah,
Yep.
the two supports rotate back down to the bottom lane, going to apply a little bit more pressure towards Yuka, who's having an okay time getting experience versus this Razor, but you definitely can't step up if you're the Brewmaster, because 1 point in Drunken Brawler is not going to save you from the likes of a Razor, especially once you get linked up. And Earthshaker, I like this rotation from him. He's just leaving the bottom lane for the Brewmaster. Earthshaker can literally do nothing to help him in this lane. Try to find something somewhere else. And getting first blood for mid is a nice start, but wherever he goes, he's going to be spotted by this Observer Ward up top, although just looking for a rune. Looks like Earthshaker might want to go for a top. It's going to be a little bit of a difficult kill to achieve, but if Darkseer is there with an Ion Shell, they can very well make it happen.
It all depends on if the block is there from Boogaroo, and currently he's not really in position to do so. But it is nighttime, and if there is a time to get it, it is about reaching there. As Tavo might be the next focus. His double damage rune activated on Morphling simultaneously as the bottled regeneration rune is now on the Tinker. The Ancient Stacks have not been coming out from the Radiant, which I really dislike. I think Skywrath Mage or Witch Doctor could have easily done that. As yep, they do go for the block onto Tavo. Eats through one of the trees, and well, Body Block comes out from Boogaroo, but he's not eating the Ion Shield damage throughout all of this. The Surge is going to come quite late, as there is TP support with the Arcane Bolt, and it looks like that's going to be about the end of it. Will Jublue get out there alive? He gets Body Blocked by his teammate, eats through one of the trees with the Tango. The Arcane Bolts and the right clicks, Body Blocks from the tree ants that have been created. The Surge is going to be blocked wonderfully, and well, another defensive fissure. It looks like he's going to be okay. One more right click is all they need, and they'll be able to get it. The Skywrath Mage gets it with the Arcane Bolt. Now Boogaroo, where's the Body Blocks from the tree ant protector, or tree ants? They won't be able to get it, but with the right clicks, Witch Doctor, that high base damage will secure the kill on the Earthshaker. As 2 kills being given the way of CNB up top.
Tavo, what a baller. That blocking was impeccable. Like, he almost got a complete surround on a Surge Darkseer. And that is really, really hard to do. Like, whenever you're trying to body block a unit with max movement speed, you're only going to get, like, 1 second out of that at the most before the Darkseer, or whoever it is, finds their way around that. But the Treants pinned him to a wall, and he just couldn't find an avenue for escape. So very well played by Tavo, keeping his cool within that entire engagement and getting a couple kills for his team. However, he unfortunately didn't get any kills himself, so he's going to be sad about that.
I think he'll still be more than fine with that, because if he had been taking the Ion Shell damage under the Fissure, they might have been able to get the kill on him. So in the end, it was a failed gank that turned into 2 for CNB. Yeah. Couple of stacks presumably going to be made in the Radiant or Dire jungle. Actually, no, they kind of missed that timing window. Both of the supports really weren't doing much, and I think that would have been a very good time to get some stacks up for the Tinker. But yeah, I don't know, Tinker's still not doing poorly in the lane, mostly 1v1 versus the Morphling, because the Wisp hasn't been showing his face very much. I don't know, Boogaroo, not going to throw it out.
Yeah, we do see a smoke from the Witch Doctor and Skywrath Mage. Are going to be looking for the Darkseer, but he's very, very healthy, and he has a creep wave to help him out. So he's going to Surge himself out. Cast is going to be thrown, but nothing's going to really come from this except for a little bit of harassment. However, Nature's Prophet does come in. Jublue's going to try to turn this around with the Iron Shell. He'll get a kill before he goes down. He might even get a second, though. No, Skywrath Mage going to lose the aggro there. So Darkseer does get something out of that. He does go down in the end, though.
Yeah, they need to start it with the silencer from the Skywrath Mage instead of throwing out the concussive shot first. I think they just need the instant silence. He was able to get the Surge off before, and in the end, that made them dive a little bit further than they probably like to get that kill, so... still good for CNB trading the offlaner for a support, but still Darkseer making something out of nothing.
I didn't notice this before, but Razor, his name was the entire time the person who the Earthshaker has the bracers for.
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
I just didn't, I didn't connect the dots there. Okay.
Okay. Wow, very good. Yep. So Wisp, his little stack jungle is looking pretty good. Double stack over at the Ogres and like a ginormous 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 stack. I don't know, that's a lot of creeps there. I think you can't even stack that anymore, that's so huge, but Waveform, although not the best at clearing the stack, definitely can do the job, especially if it's been weakened down by the Wisp Spirits as well. So Laposa going to get a lot of gold from that later on. Although if the Tinker is able to catch that out, oh yep, as they go on to bottom, the silence goes the way of Yuka, and Yuka looks like he's going to die. The right clicks, they should be there, and they will. Witch Doctor picking up the kill.
Very, very simple dive. Fissure's going to be thrown, going to apply a little bit more tower damage to the Razor, but still the Witch Doctor Voodoo Restoration going to provide that Razor the additional survivability value, plus he has a salve, so he's going to be just fine. And I don't know what Lanch is in whatever that is, but Vestius is having a little bit of difficulty. And yeah, eventually they're going to start to clear out these stacks. If Darkseer does join them, then he could just lay an Ion Shell down and Laposa could wait for him to get all the last hits, something like that. So these stacks, one way or another, will be cleared, and I don't really think they have to worry about CNB clearing them.
Yeah.
Tinker's not going to be down there anytime soon.
Definitely not. I don't know. I definitely would like to see CNB abusing their stacks a lot more. I think with the Tinker, it's just too good when you're able to have those stacks. He has one in the large camp, but he's been doing that mostly by himself. I think the supports could definitely have gotten at least 1 or 2 into the Ancients, and then 1 or 2 in the other camps in their own jungle.
Yeah, it's always something that you would kind of expect from your supports. However, these supports have been playing very aggressively. If they were up top babysitting someone this entire time, then I would say it's a huge error that they're not stacking their jungle. But they've been roaming around and getting kills, so that's good too. Sometimes you just need to kill your opponents in order to win the game. But we're on pause number 3 now, 8 minutes into the game. This is ugly.
It is. Yeah. Not really a great way to put it. Just a lot of issues have been going on as of late, and I don't think we've devolved ourselves into cosmetics just yet. But give us a couple more minutes, and we might be there.
Oh yeah, we already extensively went over the THD cosmetics. It's actually only the Earthshaker who has any. Haven't even looked at CNB, so we still have like half of our analysis there. And really, that's why people are here. That's the most important thing that we contribute to the Dota scene is our analysis of cosmetic items.
Yeah, I don't know. Tinker's boots, they're looking fine and fresh. The only item that they have for Tinker is inscribed gems, teleports to base, 916 and 35 laser kills. So not too shabby. Although doesn't look like he spam picks Tinker that much.
That's good. That makes him a good person.
I don't
We
know,
already had this
just 30
discussion.
times or so. Yeah.
All right.
Nature's Prophet. Let's see. Oh no, he has boring stuff. That's not very fun to look at. No fancy cosmetics on him at all. I don't know. Rare bracers.
I'm told that Lanch equals snack. Are you kidding me? That's hilarious.
Okay, so the IO is having a little snack. Um, that's wonderful. Oh,
Hey,
I
if you're
mean,
not clearing the stacks, you need to get some food somewhere, right? Wisp needs
yeah,
to eat even though he doesn't have a mouth.
absolutely. Yeah, I don't know. This is probably like the boringest game as far as cosmetics are concerned. Witch Doctor is the most kitted out, um, with like a snake around his neck, old snaggletooth. He has like a backwards crocodile on his head. Um, yeah,
Congratulations, Witch Doctor. You are today's winner. You win nothing because we don't have cosmetics to spare.
absolutely. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, that about sums up the damage. Bottom, Brewmaster just getting caught out. The sports have been doing some nice rotations, although not the best roaming combo. They've been making it work. They've been involved in 3 kills with a pair of them and only died once as well. So this guy with Mage getting well on his way, presumably towards his arcane boots.
Yeah, having that not only for himself but also for Ned, who I expect those two would be playing together for, a good portion of this game. More mana equals more health with Voodoo Restoration, and when your Razor's looking this damage, then that more mana looks awfully good. And Scarlet Mage has actually gone for Ancient Seal as a priority. Kind of weird considering Witch Doctor doesn't actually put out a lot of damage.
I'm okay with this, especially with a Tinker on your team. That extra amplified magic damage can be absolutely huge when focusing it on a single target, as well as the extra duration on the silence up against a Brewmaster and Morphling can be pretty pivotal, and I'm okay with this choice.
Well, it's a quick run through, see if there's anything else that's weird going on, or it looks pretty standard across the board. 2 point surge, Darkseer going into vacuum now. Kiilstofte there. Brewmaster, not quite at that level 6 mark. If he was, he probably would have survived on this bottom lane engagement. Wisp, only level 4, but once they clear out this stack and the Posta can refill his bottle due to this Invisrune, might be time to attempt to clear it, although he's going to need multiple waveforms and possibly help from someone else. And was going for a very vanilla build as the Earthshaker. So, not surprisingly, not much has happened since the last pause.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, can it be? Are we actually good to go? Looks like we might be. But yeah, looks like the Morphling might be considering Hand of Midas here. With 2,000 gold banked up, that might be his choice. Not sure what your thoughts are on that. But another thing that I've noticed, well, with the dual lanes as well as so many rotations in mid, the highest level heroes are the Nature's Prophet and Darkseer up top, both sharing in their level 8s. Whereas the Tinker is only level 7 tied up with the Razor.
I wouldn't mind the Hand of Midas that much, though they are being pushed a little bit. This game has the type of lineups on each end to go pretty long, so Midas can be pretty good, though just straight going for that Lincoln Sphere can be pretty good as well as they teleport down to the bottom lane, vacuum back onto Ned with the clap, already bringing the Witch Doctor down very low, but now he pops the Voodoo Restoration, and he'll slowly but surely walk his way out of there. Wrath of Nature going to come through, and Yuka, trapped in the trees, still at level 6, will be brought down very easily. Here comes the Tinker. The Wisp is here as well with the Earthshaker in the back end, but it's the Darkseer who has to make a break for it. Run, Darkseer, run! There's no disables, and there's no concussive shot. There's no Sprout. There is no Cask. Darkseer does get out alive, but CNB bring all heroes to bear on the bottom lane and secure themselves a free tier 1 tower.
Yeah. Tinker this game, because they haven't been stacking for him and he hasn't been farming that well in mid with only 35 CS, although not shabby, is not great. He hasn't been able to get off to the earliest start. Usually you'd like to see your Tinker getting close to his Boots of Travel at now, or at about now, and have those completed at 11 minutes. But for now, he's only halfway there with no stacks really for himself to clear. And speaking of stacks, Wisp hanging around the double stacks that he has for the Morphling. Morphling going to go back to base to refill his bottle and potentially pick up his Midas. I don't know, he's sitting on a lot of gold for this portion of the game. I'm not sure what he's considering, but I'd like to see him buy something, but they might be able to steal the stack. This could be huge for the Tinker as well as for everybody. Yeah, they just need to drop double marches here and defend the Tinker while he does this. This is going to be wonderful for CNB and a lot of damage. Where's the fight going to break out? If they get away with this, it's going to be getting away with murder. The double march is coming down. They're going to have to share the experience, but Razor picks up majority's last hits, but 40R, he's stuck inside the trees, taking a lot of that creep damage. The heal comes out. Now the cast going to bounce to Loposa. It doesn't bounce back to other heroes, and for now, CNB get the majority of those creeps, although not all on the Tinker. Wait for him forward. Does a lot of damage to Ned as well as 40R. 40R trying to get out of there as he's trying to refresh, but he's going to get a double kill away of Loposa, so in the end, not going to be worth it as Wesley might also fall with the Brewmaster split, throwing him up the air, purging him down. They don't have a boulder to throw his way. Now the boulder goes, and now Wesley with the waveform over the top. It's the right-click damages as well as the slow from the Wisp. It'll be a triple kill for Loposa, so definitely not worth for CNB.
I would have said that if they only lost 2, that would have been worth it, because that was a ton of creeps. That was like 7 stacks at least. That's a huge amount of gold that was swung from THD to CNB. But giving up a triple kill to the Morphling and suddenly things aren't worth it. Ned is going to be driven back by the Brewmaster, but it looks like everyone will be fine for now. I was about to say that Morphling was probably holding gold for an Ethereal Blade Rush, which would have been really sweet to see, but seeing that his stack was being jacked by the enemy team, he knew that he wasn't able to get that burst of gold in order to secure that. So he went for Power Treads. It's the nice intermediate item, now sitting at 1800 gold. Unfortunately, then he just got a triple kill, so if he was holding his gold the entire time, he would have been able to secure that Ethereal Blade, or at the very least the Eagle Song. So he's going to be in an awkward position as he held his gold unnecessarily for a very long time.
I mean, he'd have enough money for the Ghost Scepter. He might just go defensive after this. I don't know, I think with the triple kill, Morphling could go for a lot of different things, because now he's kind of sitting at about the same situation he was before his stack got jacked.
Yeah, so he's going to be okay with that. Of course, giving a triple kill to the enemy carry is always pretty disastrous, but it was a good play by CNB. Like, even though it didn't end up well for them, it was a good attempt and something that did or could have benefited them a lot more than it actually did. Also, though, Nature's Prophet was up top. He got a tier 1 tower, so CNB are going to be perfectly okay with that, though they will have to respect the Morphling, as they just did give him a lot of golden experience.
And also, with that stack being taken, although he died, the Tinker was still able to get his Boots of Travel, so now that the tier 1 tower is equated into that, they're probably looking pretty okay, as the network's going to agree with me, but they silence up Yuka, and they should be able to bring him down. The Nature's Prophet ultimate bounces through, but the Haste Rune will keep Brewmaster safe. I didn't actually check his bottle, but in the end, he'll be able to run that off.
4DR is stuck in the trees. He'll get vacuumed out near the jungle, but the stun from the Centaur, I think it was dodged or not used or whatever. It looked like he did cast it, but I didn't see anyone actually get stunned. They get the kill on the Tinker regardless, and that was the first relocate. You see the value of Morphling Wisp. It's not exactly a Wisp tiny, but hey, it's effective enough to kill off a Tinker. What more could you want?
Yeah, and really that's one of the best uses they're going to have of that throughout the game, is catching out this Nature's Prophet as well as Tinker while they're split pushing. And although not the best combo, as you said, they have great ways to catch the Tinker out inside the trees with the Darkseer's Vacuum to break them. The Wisp's Tether as well can do that, although not in the side portions. And then you also have the Waveform to get you over the gap if you can catch out Vision of him with the Wisp Orbs. So yeah, it's a decent combo, especially if the Morphling's able to pick up his next big item. And with 3k gold, he might just be going for the shotgun. No, he's going to pick up an Ultimate Orb, presumably for the Lincolns. I don't think if you go for Mantis style, you pick up the Ultimate Orb first.
Yeah, Lincolns will be super useful for him, mostly because it blocks Ancient Seal. It'll also block the initial stun from Paralyzing Cask, though it won't keep you protected completely. It'll also block the Static Link, so it will get some pretty good value, blocks skills that he needs to be blocked, and I think it's just, overall just a solid item for Morphling. In this game, it's not going to be an exception. Boogaroo, as well as Vestius, they're still in the mid lane looking for something, but currently no one's on the bottom lane pushing that out. Tinker is going to be doing tinkery things all up in that lane, and THD, someone's going to have to try to get in there, but they'll have to respect this Tinker burst, because Tinker, though he's only level 8, well, now level 9, he can very easily bring people down if they're caught in the march.
Yeah, at this point they definitely do have to be caught in the march, but later on, once he has the maxed out laser and missiles, he can go for more of a solo kill potential. And CNB, they're going to go for a little bit of throwback in their Nature's Prophet build, going phase Basilius Midas into Shadowblade. This is probably the day that I've seen the most Shadowblades, as we had 2 in the series prior. But yeah, Tavo gonna pick up that item to help him not be caught out while he's split pushing. I still think Blink is a superior item.
Yeah, this is the split push build that you go for as a Nature's Prophet, and it has seen a lot of play, but none recently, really, as they go now for Baga. They need a vacuum back, and there it is. They're bringing the Morphling to waveform in. One more right click. Nope, one more. Got him. He throws out the Mystic Flare, but I don't even think it does any damage. In the meantime, mid lane, oh, they're going to teleport right back into a whole mess of heroes. Let's see if they can fight their way out. Bestie is going to drop immediately as Leposa now focused by the Death Ward. He's going to try to Strength Morph and waveform his way out. Jubilee with a Surge, and Leposa missiles not going to kill him off. They still have a tier 1 tower to defend as the Brewmaster does teleport in, but he's going 1v3, and he probably should back out because he has no more mana. He's going to be fine. It looks like everyone from THD are going to back off, but that means that CNB have no resistance in this tier 1 tower.
Yeah, I don't know, just getting caught out in a very awkward situation as they came back in. Honestly, they'd be better off if they didn't go up top, because I'm not sure if they really did anything. I mean, the Wisp did secure the kill with the spirits, but I don't think the damage was actually necessary, since the waveform missed and what have you. But yeah, in the end, Brewmaster, he was without health, he was walking through the march without mana, and couldn't do anything with that TPN. Yeah, so that pretty much sums it up. Tier 1 tower given the way of CNB, and for the first time in this game, we'll go ahead and take a look at the graphs since we actually have those available this game since there wasn't a remake. 7,500 gold is the advantage of CNB, although that is tilting down in their favor with the Tinker farming as well as Nature's Prophet, two of the fastest farming heroes in the game, and experience, although not vastly in their favor, it is still a 1,500 lead for CNB.
CNB sitting pretty comfortably, however, their Skywrath Mage might be in a little bit of trouble as the Fissure hits right on the tip. Leposa is going to waveform through trees, connect as well. Mystic Flare going to drop Leposa pretty low, but I think the Skywrath Mage is going to drop, especially with the movement speed from the Wisps coming to help. Yeah, Baga is going to be brought down by the Morphling. This is going to be Morphling's 6th kill as he now picks up an unstoppable streak. He can pick up his Perseverance and Lincoln Sphere to follow shortly after. Leposa is going to be a pretty fearsome hero in this game, though he's still being outfarmed by this Nature's Prophet who has a Hand of Midas.
Honestly, for this game, I would probably prefer the Manta style over the Lincoln Sphere, because there's just a lot of great ways that Lincoln Sphere can be popped by CNB, a lot of single target spells that can be thrown out his way. Although Tinker would prefer that his laser and Dagon and what have you is going to go through, one refresh isn't that big of a deal, as well as the Nature's Prophet ultimate bouncing through is going to be blocked. I mean, it's good to avoid that damage, but I think being able to Manta out of the silence from the Skywrath Mage is going to be more important for Leposa.
Yeah, they both provide him with a good amount of survivability, and, well, they both have their advantages and disadvantages. I think Manta is definitely the later slanted item. Like, you would want to have that once you have a little bit more agility, so your illusions aren't, you know, just going to evaporate within Razor or Skywrath Mage damage or anything like that. So Manta style, I prefer to get a little bit later, but Earthshaker going to wander right in, get a 3-man Echo Slam, and the combo as well. But Fissure on level 2, the vacuum back, the Death Ward is now being channeled. Leposa does come right in. Boogaroo as well as Jubilee going to try to get out of that Roshan pick, try to get out of there. But now the Sprout Mystic Flare combination will annihilate the Wisp. The Wrath of Nature coming through as well as Boogaroo going to get picked off by the Witch Doctor. Death Ward providing some serious value. Leposa needs to book it, but he's silenced right before he could waveform. It's a double kill for Tavo, and now they're just going to go right into the Roshan pit, I think, or return there. They're kind of roughed up from that. They don't have treants just yet, but they can make some if need be. THD, they take what looked like a great fight with the Echo Slam, but in the end, it just wasn't good enough.
They didn't have the backup after that, and they weren't able to clean up anybody, and that Ned Death Ward being channeled through just did so much damage, and they didn't have a way to cancel it. Earthshaker, although he got the Echo Slam, wasn't able to follow up with the Fissure and Enchant Totem because he was just too slow, and ended up getting interrupted, I think, by the Paralyzing Cast coming out from the Witch Doctor. So yeah, it looked great, but they weren't able to capitalize on it because they didn't have the backup there, and in the end, it's going to be 3-0 on a Roshan, given the way of CNB, going to propel their lead even further, despite the kills being fairly close. And in the meantime, 40R's just been farming away. He has a completed Blink Dagger, as well on his way towards his next item.
Yeah, so that has picked up in Yuka. He's happy with that farm that he's picked up. As mid lane, it's evacuation. I mean, they only saw 2 heroes there, but Vestius and Leposa staying safe as now they're going to link forward and be just fine. I don't really know what that relocate was all about, but hell, they're going to be okay with that, I suppose. As you can see, THD, they're feeling the pressure as Earthshaker puts up some super defensive wards right near that hard camp that was stacked previously, but they're still not out of it by any stretch because they have a Morphling who's, you know, 6-1-1. But they have to worry about the split push from Nature's Prophet, who is going to go for that Orchid that I mentioned earlier. And now Tinker is starting to really ramp his farm with the Blink Dagger. He's going to be very difficult for THD to kill off.
Yeah, Morphling is going to get that Lincoln's, which he almost has enough gold for. Actually, does have enough gold for it. So Lincoln Sphere picked up by Lapose is going to be a lot harder for them to bring down, but still doesn't pose that big of an offensive threat without having his next item on top of that. So yeah, for now, it's just kind of a waiting game until Morphling gets huge. They need to find a couple more pickoffs, presumably with the Io and Morphling combo, but after losing that Roshan in the fight prior, it's really set THD back quite a large margin, even though they're already back on the back foot before that.
They needed the Brewmaster to be in that fight. If they had a split there, they probably could have made something happen. At the very least, the Death Ward wouldn't have been channeled as long as it was, but Brewmaster needed his Blink Dagger, and that's an item that you kind of would want to wait for, but CNB not giving THD the opportunity to do so. They're now smoked up and looking for blood. It looks like they're going to head north and run their way into a Nature's Prophet as Tinker just now decides to leave the lane. There's the Surge onto Yuka, looking for a Blink Clap, though. The teleportation, Shadow Blade is all up for Nature's Prophet. They're going the wrong way, so they're not going to find anyone.
Yep, and well, that's going to be the damage of it. Not even sure if they had detection on their heroes. They had 2 sentries in dust. Never mind. Jubilu on the ball with that one, yeah. Definitely has detection. Yep. Tinker picks himself up the Dagon at 20 minutes, kind of the prescribed time for it, but this Tinker is going to be very scary. And, I mean, I kind of touched on it in the draft. If Morphling does go for a Ethereal Blade as his next item, and he's fully agility morphed when he goes for the shotgun combo, and Tinker has a higher level Dagon, it could be very dangerous for him to jump into that, especially with the Skywrath Mage on the field as well, with his extra amplified damage as well as the ultimate that he'll provide. This Morphling could just melt if he gets caught out in a bad situation. Wesley picks himself up his Aghanim Scepter, which is going to do a lot of damage to his tier 2 tower, although the creeps have already been pulled off.
It's not going to be enough because Ned has maxed out Voodoo Restoration, so Razor just chilling in that tower range, and well, he still has that Aegis to burn and the mech, so he's going to bring down this tower. No response from THD, although they do fortify, possibly looking for a deny. They get a vacuum back on the 4DR, but the Mystic Flare is going to drop the Wisp immediately as Echo Slam does seal its deal on the Tinker, but Wesley still going to charge forward as they now get the Sprout off onto Jubilu. They'll bring him down instant. Yuka stunned up. He's once again out of mana. He can't split as the Death Ward is channeled. Will almost kill off the poster. That was so close. It's ultimately a 1-for-2 trade, but Darkseer buys back, and that's going to force the CNB side to back off for just a little while longer as Ned restores everyone back up to full HP, and by everyone I mean the Razor, but still, the Razor has an Aegis, and he has Eye of the Storm in 20 seconds, which is again Aghanimed. He could make something happen. In the meantime, top lane, Yuka is going to get silenced up as he does try to go for Tavo, looking for a Sprout Tavo. He has Shadow Blade. He could just run, and he's just going to run. Meantime, relocate. They're going in deep. This Wisp and Morphling are going to come around from the side as Booker looking to make a fight happen, but he's taking too much damage. There's the wall vacuum, going to catch 2 as Morphling does come to the side. Wait for him, though, only hitting onto that Razor. He's going to stand his ground because, again, he does still have that Aegis. He wants to use it, and the Wisp, Morphling, leaving before that fight even starts. Ned out of mana, though, as Tavo, with the help of Tinker, killing off that Brewmaster who just stayed for a little bit too long. CNB getting win after win, and still this Razor wants to use this Aegis.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be able to, unless they start pushing immediately. If they go into the tier 2 tower right now, they might be able to, but the creep equilibrium isn't in the best position to do so. Nature's Prophet will put some damage onto the tier 2 up top, and he'll probably take it at the end of the day. They actually lost their mid tier 1, I think, wasn't denied. Not sure what happened there. Loposa is hanging around up top, as is the Nature's Prophet inside his Shadow Blade, but I don't think anybody's actually going to go.
This Nature's Prophet is going full-on rat mode. He's 505. He has another 2,400 gold after picking up the Orchid and Shadow Blade. Already astounding farm from him outside of that 2,400 gold, but hell, even more gold as he's just getting more and more items. Razor still in this mid lane. He has Eye of the Storm in 7, and he's going to want to use this Aegis soon enough, or at least burn the rest of his mana before this Aegis gets reclaimed by Roshan. I hope for his sake that he has this on the timer. They'll try to make a trade, THD, as they put some pressure up on top, but it's hard to outpush a Razor with the Eye of the Storm active when you don't have any heroes that could actually get close. Wesley, yeah, Yuka is just way too scared. He gets hit by the Wrath of Nature, and now Wesley turning his sight, perhaps. No, they take the tier 2 tower in exchange. In the meantime, top lane, they kill off the Wisp as Morphling tries to get a kill onto Tavo. It looks like Morphling will replicate himself way back to the base, but Tinker and Nature's Prophet showing that global presence as Bugru now going to get stunned up, silenced up, and Mystic Flared. That's a dead Earthshaker. Laposa still in this fight, but Wesley wants to use the Aegis. It's going to time out very shortly, though. This could end up poorly for him. He's staying in the tier 4 towers. He's like, kill me, please kill me, Aegis. is gonna be there. Okay, so he does respawn safely, and now here comes the push from CNB as the Nature Prophet does come in. Yuka, though, does get a two-man clap into the vacuum back. Huge wall, but I don't think it's gonna be enough. They only take down the Witch Doctor. Razor now up in the air, doesn't have another Eye of the Storm. Bog on the back end, doesn't have that much mana, so he's gonna be focused down by the Brewmaster. Should be brought down relatively shortly. Leposa starting to have his damage drained out from the Razor, but instantly again into the air. CNB, they're still alive as they get another Sparrow now onto Jubilu. He's going to try to run, but that's not going to happen. He's going to drop, and now they're going to focus their attention onto Leposa. There's another jump forward 40R. Going to focus onto Yuka. Going to bring him very low with his combo. The Earthshaker trying to get in there for something. 40R is going to jump to the right, and he'll get another kill onto that Brewmaster. CNB, they only lose the Witch Doctor, and they're still going to keep going because, hey, Eye of the Storm is right back up again. They have more treants. Why not just go for it? Tinker going to come right back in. Well, eventually will come right back in, but the mid lane is in full breach as Leposa was going to block a Sprout. That'll help him escape a 40R. Jumping forward, not going to get that kill. They will focus down the Rax, though, and I think 25 minutes in, losing a Rax could mean losing the game.
Especially up against a Nature's Prophet Tinker. You have the rat as well as the mechanical rat, and it's just so hard. You just put one of those in each of the lanes, and then the team can push out, but they catch out Tavo in mid. They commit the Echo Slam for this one, as well as the relocate. They'll get that kill at the very least, but he has buyback. They need Wesley to really make this worthwhile. Will they be able to catch him out? I don't know. With the extra movement speed, they might be able to get a Fissure, but it looks like that's going to be all she wrote is, yeah, no Blink Dagger and the Earthshaker, and Brewmaster too far back.
Getting one lane of Raxes when you have a Nature's Prophet and a Tinker on your team is just so huge. The split push becomes so easy because you could put Nature's Prophet up top, put Tinker on the bottom, put the other three heroes wherever the hell they want. I mean, it doesn't really matter. But eventually, THD, they're just going to be choked out of space. They will not have anywhere to farm. They won't have access to their jungle. And if Tinker gets big enough, they can't even go for the Tinker because Tinker will, at the very least, take someone down when they try to jump on him. So.
And yeah, Tinker is going to be that big with the Ethereal Blade. He has enough money to buy it right now. And honestly, he might just do that. Sending the courier to Secret Shop, I think that's what he's getting.
Wow, and CNB getting one of the shortest possible Roshan times. It's just now respawns almost at the same time as the Nature's Prophet, so they're going to get even more of a lucky break from the game based Dota. Well, they're going to go into that Roshan pit soon enough, and that should be a very easy one to claim as they did take the last one. The Poster, though, in a little bit of trouble. They'll have Silence and Sprout. Can they kill him off? There's the March of the Machines to stop things off. The Nature's Prophet scouting out for any potential support onto Leposa. Sprout to pop the Lincolns, perhaps, and then Orchid. It's a little bit too late. The Morphling is quick.
Yeah. I don't know, even if they got that, they might have needed the Ethereal Blade on the Tinker in order to get that kill. I don't know, they probably had enough damage, as long as they were able to lock him down. But then again, they'd have to kill him in the duration of the Orchid in order to do so, and yeah, he wasn't morphed very heavily into agility at that point, sitting about 2k HP. I think he would have been just fine either way. But yeah, they're not going to go into Roshan just yet. I'm not sure they even know it's up yet. But as soon as they check that out, they can take that pretty much at their heart's content. They can leave the Nature's Prophet and Tinker on the side lanes, and then the rest of the team is free to go Roshan. Yeah, they have the refresher completed on the Razor, I think. Yeah, he's going to send that to himself, as well as the newly acquired Ethereal Blade on the Tinker.
Razor is pretty tanky at this point with that really pretty quick Aghanims with the mech, and of course he'll always have the Witch Doctor right behind him, providing that very modest 40 health per second regeneration for the Razor. So if they stick together, this Razor's not going to die anytime soon. At the very least, he's going to take several people down before he does go down, and he's almost at level 16, so his Eye of the Storm could get even stronger. But Ned is going to spot out the fact that Roshan is in fact up, and that should be their next objective. They have Treants going in, Razors in the area. I think they need the Nature's Prophet to really take this one down in a safe time. But Tinker, in the meantime, can take advantage of the fact that they are a Rax up. He's going to split push top and bottom while this is happening.
Yeah, Witch Doctor actually found himself an invisible rune, so just going to get some scouting out with that one while the other heroes are taking out Roche. Yeah, the support's not really necessary for this, but Tavo has also picked up his Scythe of Vice. So the items are really coming out big for CNB, and with this next Aegis, I think they can just go for their second lane of Rax.
I mean, there's nothing else that they would want to do, right? There's no tier 2 towers to take. You have as much of an advantage that you could possibly want now that Razor is hitting the level 16 mark off of that Roshan experience. This Razor is pretty much maxed out at this point. He has a couple of item slots to fill, but he's comparatively not going to get much stronger than this. Their Tinker has a level 2 Dagon with Ethereal Blade. That hurts like hell. So it's go time, and it looks like they choose the bottom lane to go for first. But first they're going to drive off Leposa from top, and that's not going to take that much time.
Yeah, just drop a couple of marches, and they won't really be able to push to this tier 1 very effectively. And Tinker, it's no time lost for him, as he'll be able to join back up with his team shortly. Save for the H profit, but they get the vacuum back into 3 with the Echo Slam on top, and now Wesley's also going to fall. That's the Aegis down, and they've lost 3. They haven't lost anybody on the side of THD, and now they're looking for the Razor as well. They went a little prematurely, and now they're going to get punished for it. Wesley's still surviving with the Ethereal Blade. They might be able to get more buyback from the Witch Doctor. Refresher onto Wesley, but he's just falling too low with the Adaptive Strike. The Morphling's able to pick himself up a double kill, and, well, I don't know, buybacks galore coming out, one on each of the supports from either side, but they went for that push way too early. They need their Nature's Prophet and Tinker, and you can't group up like that up against a Darkseer and Earthshaker with Blink Daggers.
Well, I mean, I got my wish. I said I wanted to see a vacuum into Echo Slam, and that's exactly what happened. It absolutely destroyed the CNB side, and you know, to be fair, they were fighting 3v5 for a good part of that, so they didn't have the full power of their team. But they just got initiated upon so quickly. They didn't expect that fight to happen. So they were caught kind of with their pants down as they were trying to make just a little bit of a poke towards the tower, as now Ned might be in a little trouble. Brewmaster, oh, no, it's not going to be Brewmaster. It's going to be Morphling coming in from behind with the shotgun, putting down that Witch Doctor. But shotgun for DR. The Mystic Flare is going to completely whiff, but Yuka's going to die regardless. Nature's Prophet securing that kill. Leposa now going to chase down 4DR with the waveform. Meantime, Tavo's going to kill off the Wisp in the back end. 4DR, though, stunned up. Leposa not doing that much damage because he's very high in the strength. And 4DR will blink around. In the meantime, Tavo cleaning up everyone in the back end. He's going to see another person in Bugru. He has another Hex. He'll get that. This is going to be a 4 kill for Tavo. Maybe even 5. Where is this Morphling? He teleported back. I thought for sure that they were going to get the Tinker, but it turns out in the back end, Tavo was just wreaking havoc.
Yeah, I don't know, I wasn't even really keeping eyes on Tavo until the very end of that. He gets Ethereal Blade by Leposa, but now 4DR is back with a vengeance. He might be able to go for this. No, just gonna rearm, get back, or where is he going? He's blinking forward. He wants the Ethereal Blade on Leposa. This is really deep for him to be diving. Gonna be Adaptive Strike. I think he just back off there, 4DR. Yeah, a little too ballsy for my liking.
Hey, but Tavo still doing the damage up on top. I mean, CNB, their 2 biggest heroes weren't in that bottom fight, and yeah, it's just GG. Very easy. His bottom lane and top lane are both in full breach, and that's going to be megas if they didn't call it, so Leposa will get one for the road. Not even enough damage for that.
Yeah, I don't know, that, in the end, CNB, they just got off to an early advantage with a team that's just such a pain to play from behind. So in the end, that is going to be the end of Game 1. This is a 2-game series. CNB take Game 1. But yeah, we will have another one coming up shortly. So for now, GG to both teams. Don't go anywhere, as we'll be back.
GG, guys.